Hi guys, Matt Hancock's here and welcome to your next instalment of this video sequence. Today's is on stress. Now, stress is something that most of us have identified with at some stage or another, as I'm sure, and this can impact on our health and well-being massively. We all react in different ways, but there is mountain evidence that one of the most insidious side effects of chronic stress is the infuriating inability to lose weight, which is mostly down to an imbalance in our hormones. Now, there are two types of hormones. We have breakdown hormones and repair hormones. Now, obviously, when we exercise, we release breakdown hormones, which are responsible for the damage to our muscles and cells, which we need to improve our muscle tone and to enable us to get stronger. However, on the other side of this, we also need to have release repair hormones such as growth hormone, testosterone and melatonin. Now these are released in periods of sleep and relaxation, and they're critical. They are absolutely critical to replenish our energy stores, repair the muscles and cells. And if we don't release these repair hormones, we can feel very, very tired, lethargic, and even exhausted. And everything can just feel like it gets a little bit overwhelming. Modern life is filled with stress. We spend our lives meeting deadlines, fighting rush hour traffic, juggling family life, work and so much more. And this takes its toll on bodies and our health, as I'm sure you can relate to this little slide here. So what is stress exactly? Well, stress is basically a physical response to a perceived stimuli that makes you feel threatened or upsets a balance in some way. Okay, so you basically have a body's protective mechanism that will release hormones, adrenaline and cortisol, and it's what we know as the fight or flight, where we move into our higher gear and it will save your life. Okay, so why is it that having stress in our bodies will mean that we have why we will store fat? Now, whether physically, emotionally or psychologically, your body will increase the secretion of adrenaline and cortisol to help cope with the stressor by putting you in a fight or flight mode. Now, whilst in this mode, all systems are on high alert in order to get you out of your perceived danger. So this is something that we needed a lot of in hunter-gatherer days. Maybe we'll be sprinting away from a saber-toothed tiger or the like. And the increase in the amount of circulating carbohydrate, proteins, fats gave the body extra nutrients and therefore that burst of energy to escape the wild animals, or maybe even other tribes. So that's basically what it was there for. It was to save your life. Now, these days, modern stresses like deadlines at work, your kids giving you a hard time, large bills landing on the doorstep, rush hour traffic, etc., tend to send cortisol cascading through your bloodstream. But modern living tends to, incorporate more than one of these, meaning that we sort of get no respite from that at all. This constant state of stress we find ourselves in plays havoc with the body, especially the abdominal area. So, you see, the body has a mechanism for dealing with excess cortisol that the liver can't deal with, and this involves specialized fat cells around the abdominal region, and especially in an organ called the greater momentum. And this is just under your abdominals. So, abdominal fat has around 4 times the amount of receptors for cortisol than anywhere else in the body, meaning this is where we store fat when we are stressed. Okay, and to top that off, a lot of the time to cope with stress we'll go for alcohol. So, and alcohol, as you know, will store fat, especially around the belly. But it will so it mean that you're stressing out and you're taking alcohol, so you're getting a double whammy, and therefore you just tend to store fat around that belly area and love handle area. So what we need to do is obviously eliminate modern day stresses and chronic patterns, and this will prevent that storage around the belly. So I know that sounds pretty easy, but what we're going to do is we're going to break down and look at the 5 key lifestyle factors. This will help you navigate your daily expressways. So in order that we have a nice sort of natural high, as opposed to being ill and overly stressed. Okay, so we need to think about number 1, which is how well you sleep. Now, you need to get around about 8 hours sleep is the ideal, but we need about 6 to 8 hours sleep. Sleep restores chemical balance, repairs damage to muscle tissue, processes memories and stores those that are significant in the long-term memory. So sleep is really important for having a natural high. Okay. Food, obviously, how well you eat. This is a major part of this whole program that we're doing, but food has a direct and immediate effect on your internal chemistry. What you eat can elevate your serotonin levels or cause an adrenaline spike. Your gut health, the state of your gut and your gut health it creates emotion. So if you have a happy gut, if you're eating well and you've got all the nutrients it needs and you're feeding it with healthy bacteria, generally your mood will be much happier than if you're in an acidic environment and not given the gut the kind of foods it needs to maintain a healthy digestive system. So we've talked about digestion before, and you really need to be looking at having a healthy digestive system and healthy gut in order to enhance your mood. Okay. Obviously, being how active you are, this has both a foundation, on the trigger effect, and a good fitness level provides a stable foundation for managing pressure with less adrenaline. Certain exercises boost the production of will boost the production of serotonin for good calm vibes. So we do a regen class, which is like core strength, stretching and yoga. So yoga and Tai Chi and Pilates type exercises can really give you that kind of production of serotonin. And also, as you know, we do a lot of rigorous exercise as well, and this helps burn off excess cortisol when times are really tough. So you do need to have a balance of exercise. Your body wants the whole balance. You don't want to be doing hard, intense exercise every single time you go to the gym. You need to have periodized programs, you need to deload, and you need to de-stress. Okay, so the way we think influences our body chemistry profoundly. So if you are scared, adrenaline kicks in. If you are sad, serotonin levels are decreased. Now, it's essential to listen to your inner dialogue if you want to pursue a naturally high life. So the way you think, the way you need to have more positive thoughts, and negativity is only going to take you backwards. All right, you want to be having positive thoughts. Think your first thought in every morning should be one of gratitude and one of positiveness, and this will really change the way that you go through your day. Okay. Stress throws your chemistry out of balance. Okay, so the way you manage stress is really, really important. We're all going to have stressful situations. It's just how we cope with them and how we manage them that's really, really important. Okay, you can improve your tolerance to it. So recognizing your response to stress and acting appropriately is crucial to avoiding burnout and crashes. Alright, so this is really, really key. So I'd like to now just look if you are a candidate for burnout. Okay, because there is a real fine line between being fired up for work or fired up for projects and being completely burnt out, or getting burnt out. And trust me, I've been burnt out a couple of times and been in hospital with exhaustion, and it's not a nice place to be. And this was before I knew the telltale signs with stress and what to look out for. And it really comes around so quick if you're not prepared for it, and it just knocks you completely off your feet. So let's just have a little look at some of these questions. Just maybe just put a tally in your notepad there, and we can see how many of these relate to you. If there's 3 or more, you definitely need to be addressing your stress levels and your nervous system. So, are you beginning to drop the bail on important projects? Do you feel overwhelmed more often than you think you should? Do you frequently feel worn out at the end of the working day? Do you feel let down by people more often than not? Does your body ache, particularly when you stop being busy? Have you been too busy to call close friends and family members recently? Have you lost your sense of humour? Have you got a low sex drive? And do you have less to say to people in social situations? Now, if three or more of those relate to you, then I strongly suggest you kind of look at your stress levels and how you cope with stress and these 5 key lifestyle factors, so that you can cope with it a lot better, because you're definitely on your way to burnout. All right, so it's quite a serious thing to be looking into. So check your lifestyle. Yeah, sleep. Does it take you about 20 minutes to fall asleep at night? And do you wake up and go to bed, pretty much the same time each day? Food. Do you drink more than 8 glasses of water a day? Is your diet balanced, mixed with protein, carbs and fat? Do you eat at least 3 but hopefully 5 meals a day? Do you look for unprocessed, natural or organic products wherever possible? Do you exercise more than 3 times a week? Do you seek out incidental activity where possible? Say, taking the stairs instead of the lift, maybe parking your car further away in the car park. And is exercise a habit for you, or is it more of a chore? Thoughts. Do you take responsibility for what happens in your world? Are you positive and optimistic about your future? And do you think well of yourself, or are you quite negative towards yourself? Stress. Do your relationships energize you? Are you engaged and focused in your life? And are you still learning something new every day? So these are really important, because you obviously want to answer yes to all of these, to know that your lifestyle is a healthy one, and that you're living a life rather than just existing. And this is really important, that going forward, you are looking to improve your overall lifestyle, your overall health, because that has an instant effect, an instant impact on your stress levels and your health and well-being. So sleep. We're going to talk a little bit about sleep. Sleep is the #1 way to maintain your body balance, for sure. You'll have greater productivity, focus and creativity as long as you have enough sleep. Now, do you have trouble falling asleep? Do you have trouble waking up in the morning? Do you sleep less than 8 to 9 hours per night? Do you wake up once or more during the night? Do you sleep in a room with any light or noise? Do you wake up feeling tired? Do you only wake up with an alarm? Do you go to bed later than 11? Do you get up earlier than 6? And do you use medications for sleep? If you're answering 3 or more of these, you have an issue with your sleep, and it's really important that you address your sleep sooner rather than later, because lack of sleep is something that can really stop weight loss dead in its tracks, and has a real adverse effect on your overall health and well-being. Yeah, we are programmed to release awakening or stress hormones. So that's your adrenaline and your cortisol. As we're coming out of our sleep in the morning, these hormones peak around midday and slowly descend throughout the evening. As these stress hormones are declining, sleep and recovery hormones, or melatonin, should be increasing to allow us to slow down and get restful sleep. So you can see here that the rise and fall of the sun affects every living organism on the planet. Yeah? So before the introduction of artificial light, this is how our sleep wake patterns, or your circadian rhythm, were. Essentially, you've got your awakening or stress hormones that come into play, and they will wake you up, and then what happens is that your recovery hormones and your restful hormones come in at night, and then you get your kind of physical repair and your psychological repair. That happens, yeah? The next morning will take the opposite effect. So if you don't get a good night's kip, you won't have enough awakening hormones to fully get you started in the morning. You won't have an appetite for a wholesome breakfast. Instead, you'll probably just reach for a slice of toast, maybe a coffee, as you run out the door. And this unfortunately won't kickstart your metabolism for the day, and it will definitely destroy your fat loss progress. And sleep is one of the most important factors in maintaining optimal health. The rise and fall of the sun affects, as I say, affects every living organism, and we're no different. So when enough light stimulates the eyes, regardless of the source, a signal is sent to your brain to tell us it's morning. Your brain is in a response to the light, then activates your hormonal system, which naturally releases cortisol. The problem is these days that due to our fast-paced, high-stress, hectic lifestyles, a large majority of the population experience disruption to their natural sleep-wake cycles. Things like working late, having artificial light, drinking coffee, eating late, watching TV, all these things before we go to bed can really disrupt your sleep-wake cycles. So these stress hormones basically come into play, and your physical and psychological repair isn't as good as perhaps what it could be. So what we need to be doing is obviously addressing some of our stresses in our life, so that we can get a little bit more restful sleep and take the day in our stride. Okay, so here you can see that the red line shows a normal cortisol response. So during a normal day, here, that red line is the normal cortisol response. Yeah. So this is mapped against the blue line there, which is your repair hormones such as melatonin and growth. Now, contrast that to the one below, or this one here, and this basically, there's elevated cortisol and a complete lack of repair hormones. Yeah. So because cortisol takes several hours to leave the body, it's vitally important to wind down your day and really kind of begin to reduce the stress inputs such as artificial light, poor stimulation, like watching TV just before you go to bed, and kind of develop into having good evening habits. So what we need to do is kind of get into some good habits. Yeah. So regular hours, go to bed and get up about the same time every day, even on weekends. Even if you miss some sleep and go to bed late because you've been out, and it's better to get up at the normal time, because that will set your circadian rhythm much better. Okay. You need to aim to get enough, so about 7 to 8 hours a night. Now, develop a sleep routine. So I would say by getting up at the same time is really useful. The more regular you are with sleep, you'll be better able to cope with disruption. If you travel, re-establish your routine as soon as you get home. And if you're in sleep debt, try adding hours to the start of your sleep cycle rather than at the end. So sleeping, in is not the answer. But a lot of people go, I'll sleep in and catch up on my sleep. That's not how it works at all. Okay, you're likely to wake up feeling even more groggy than ever if you do that. So go to bed early as opposed to laying in. Alright, otherwise you'll just get yourself in a rut. Definitely relax before going to bed. So don't keep working late at night or watching TV and then switching off and trying to get to sleep straight away. Okay, give yourself permission to chill for as long as needed before going to bed. I think 20 minutes of chill out time before bed works really well, and you tend to just get into a sleep easily that way. Okay, make your bedroom dark. Artificial lighting, while generally not bright enough to stimulate serotonin, is bright enough to suppress melatonin. So dim the lights as the evening progresses, or burn candles. Read in bed with a small book light if needed, but definitely have a room that's quite dark. I would turn the clock away from you in bed, so you're not waking up with in the night and looking at the clock, because this can just cause anxiety. I tend to do that a lot, so I ended up just moving the clock away altogether. Make the room cool and dark, quiet and comfortable. Yeah. So look to adjust the conditions in your room. If cutting out noise is not possible, try earplugs or soothing music, and turn off all electric appliances in your room, as this interacts with the energy field, disrupting your sleep hormones. So that's quite important, that you control the noise and also control the temperature. Nightwear made from natural fibres have different summer and winter bed covers. If seasonal temperature varies greatly, so it's a good thing to kind of get that temperature right for both of you. If you are sleeping with a partner, for both of you, or if you're on your own, just make sure you get it nice and comfortable. Have a comfortable mattress and pillow. Use your bed every night, obviously, and it's worth investing in a good quality bed. So debug your mattress. Change and refill your pillow often. Sleep in crisp, clean sheets. Just give it a good shake, and make it fresh and inviting. And obviously exercise. You'll get better quality rest if you find a healthy way to tire yourself out. So a healthy way to tire yourself out, not through work and stress. So an hour of exercise, is a really good way of kind of keeping yourself fit and healthy and getting good restful sleep. So I think that in the most part we should be doing some sort of exercise every day, and then making sure that we do a good amount of exercise to lose weight. So you're talking metabolic resistance training, not every day, just 3 times a week, but then on other days you still want to be doing a bit of exercise, getting those lifestyle choices right. So taking stairs instead of escalators and lifts and things, so all that's good. Okay, so what you shouldn't be doing, alright? So don't ever skip breakfast. Even if you're not hungry, you need to fire up your metabolism with something healthy at the start of each busy day. So when you get up, you need to be eating a good protein breakfast. Don't have sort of sugary carbohydrate cereals, because it's nonsense, right? You need to have a decent breakfast. So don't overdo the refined carbs. Obviously, you don't want to be filling up on highly processed carbs, because that just causes blood glucose spikes. Don't overdo the fatty foods, or the caffeine, or the alcohol. Obviously, all of that is out of your program anyway, but going forward, hopefully it's only taken about 10% of your diet in things that aren't ideal. Yeah? You should be eating low GI carbs for most of your meals. So you want to have protein for sure, and you want to be lowering the GI by making sure you're having proteins and fats with your carbs. Okay? That protein rocks. Make sure you have protein with every single meal, especially your breakfast. Think lean, chicken breast, fish, and obviously, make sure you're getting some vegetable protein in there as well. Loads of good oil. We know the importance of essential omega-3, and grab that, get it into your body. Flaxseed oil is also very, very good. I would also be looking for you to be taking supplements. So we've talked about taking a multivitamin and an antioxidant, but there's also other things that you should take in order to help you relax, help you sleep, and lower your cortisol levels, which I'm going to explain in a little bit. But that's basically all about supporting your nervous system. So you definitely need to support your nervous system if you're not getting good night's sleep or you feel a bit stressed out. Okay, obviously we need to be taking time over food, savouring our food, slowing down, conversing over our meals, and chewing our food at least 30 times before we swallow, so we can make sure that our digestive health is not stressed out. Okay, so exercise is going to give you more energy, better sleep, increase stress threshold, and stabilize your blood sugars. So you must exercise. Stand more, don't sit on your desk all day long, get up every 20-30 minutes and just walk about. Stand up straight, don't lean or slump. Okay, take the stairs instead of taking the lift. Park your car a distance away from where you want to be. Walk your kids to school. Walk up escalators. Just go and do the lifestyle choices that are going to help you burn off calories, tire you out in a nice healthy way, so that you create your own buzz. Alright, your own buzz that leaves you exhilarated on a natural high. That's what you want. Okay, you don't want to be stressed out. We want to balance these chemicals. Okay, meditation or taking some time out is a really good thing to do. Right, you must take some time out when you feel that things are getting a bit on top of you. Just set aside some time when you don't do anything, literally 5 minutes, where you just shut yourself away and you just concentrate on nothing else but your breath. That will do. You don't have to be sat there with your legs crossed going for hours on end. Literally, not doing anything is a nice way to meditate. You meditate your own way. It's just about taking some time out. Yeah, it's very, very important that you take some time out to do nothing. Okay, so you can de-stress by some meditation. I think it's actually a really cool thing to do. If you're able to influence those sort of the frequencies in your brain and just kind of do that through deep relaxation and breathing and a little bit of meditation, it can go a long way to keeping you in balance. So, as I say, meditate your own way. It might be active meditation, Tai Chi, yoga, Pilates, could be getting outdoors, rock climbing, cycling, anything that you enjoy doing that takes you away from your everyday stresses. That's what meditation is, nothing else. Okay, the goal is to simply seek distraction but not seek engagement and mental stimulation. So it's just time out. Alright, it's a real powerful way to center you in a living moment and put you in a state of calm and readiness. And it's something I try and take time out. It's something I've had to learn to do. I didn't find it very easy at first, and it helped with the creation of Regen, which is one of our de-stressing programs, and it really has a massive influence, not only getting everything centered and not taking your stress home with you, but also shredding fat off the belly, because you're de-stressing, you're lowering your cortisol levels, and that fat just seems to melt away from the belly if you can find the time to meditate or just take some time out. Right, don't be afraid of the word meditation, but just take some time out to yourself. It's really, really important. So, products to support stress then. Now, stress basically is where your nervous system is not functioning as it should. You've got too much cortisol in your system, and and like anything, all your body systems, they're closely related to nutrition. Okay, so NutriCalm here is a phenomenal product. It's a key system product for the nervous system. It's designed to support the healthy nervous system during times of pressure, and that means that we need B complex vitamins and vitamin C. Now NutriCalm provides generous amounts of both of those, along with a herb called chamomile, which I'm sure you would have heard of, which herbalists recommend for its ability to soothe the nerves and help to maintain a healthy nervous system. Now that chamomile works really well with magnesium, because magnesium is a muscle relaxant, and so if you take magnesium at night and NutriCalm at night, you get much better sleep from it. So it's a really good way of lowering your cortisol, which effectively means that you're raising your melatonin levels in order for you to sleep. So you're taking away those stress hormones and increasing the relaxant hormones. Okay, so it provides nutrients that helps maintain a healthy nervous system. It supports healthy brain function. It helps soothe and settle when life becomes a little bit too much of a challenge, and it obviously helps replenish vitamins that are often depleted in times of stress. So it's very good. These two together are phenomenal for helping stress. Now, I think stress, depression or anxiety is now one of the largest contributors to overall estimated days off or days lost from work related ill health. So more and more people are becoming ill due to stress and to the nervous system, and when you think we can manage stress through nutrition and through a few lifestyle changes, I think it's important that we kind of do that. So let's just put it all together and see what we can do to improve any sort of stress levels that you might have. Now, step one is obviously to rule out any food sensitivities you might have, because gluten and dairy can cause stress. It can cause it can cause you to be bloated and stressed. Okay, obviously if there's any relationship stress, so if your relationships are causing you stress, then that's something that you would have to rule out and see to yourself. Work-related stress, is there anything you can do to reduce your work-related stress? Cardiovascular exercise, a lot of people think this is the best form of exercise out there for fat loss. Actually, it's quite stressful on the body. Excessive cardio, it causes oxidative stress. If you remember back to the when we were talking about the importance of having antioxidants and ambrosia, we talked about oxidative stress. So we need to reduce the amount of cardio, and we need to assess our training a little bit and make sure we've got a nice balance of exercise programs, exercise protocols. Make sure that you are completely hydrated. Okay, 2 to 3 liters of water essential. If you've got children, try and think about the way that the kids are stressing you out, and try and deal with that in different ways. And then look at your sort of daily lifestyle practices. So think about some breathing techniques, taking some time out to yourself, introducing regen, which is obviously what we do at our studio. But if you don't come to our studio, then think about implementing some yoga type exercises and some stretching, some fascia release work. Okay, just so that you're not tight and stressed. So you need to release and open your body up. Definitely, I think it's a good idea to some people tend to have a grateful diary or gratitude log where they write down everything they're grateful for, and this helps people sleep. Some people tend to do it in the morning. I've worked with some guys that will tell you to do a gratitude log in the morning. I tend to just have a positive thought in the morning, so I try and wake up and have a positive thought, and that kind of sets me off on that day, rather than a negative one, which is going to changes the whole physics of the day really. Then you need to be looking at supplement support. So as well as having a really clean diet, which I'm sure you guys are doing now, and your daily essentials, so you definitely need your multivitamin, you definitely need your omegas to help with cellular function, you definitely need an antioxidant to help with oxidative stress, and then unless you're on a key system product for something else right now, you want to be looking to add Nutricalm and also magnesium and calcium into your diet, just to really give the nervous system a really good nourishing support. And I take Nutricalm, and it is probably behind Zambrosa is probably my favourite supplement that they do, in terms of I feel the effects of it straight away. It's just 1 tablet 3 times a day, take with the meals, and it really just lowers your cortisol, enables you to cope with stressful situations so much easier. So that's your supplement support for stress. I hope you've taken something from this video, and I look forward to taking you through the next one, which is on anti-aging. So that's going to be a great one for you to get involved in. So I'll catch you then. Cheers. Thanks for listening. Bye bye.